This is a story about a mistake most Canadians are making right now.
Otis has been giving away free money for 2 years, and he had no idea. He opened a savings account at his bank, put $6,000 in, felt pretty good about it. Then tax season came around. Turns out his savings earned interest, and that interest, the government wanted a cut of it. He thought that account was a TFSA. It wasn't. 2 years, just gone. Not because anyone did anything wrong, just because nobody ever explained the difference to him. So by the end of this video, Otis is going to understand exactly what a TFSA is, what it isn't, and the one thing that trips up a lot of Canadians without them even realizing it. So, how does this thing actually work? Let's get into it. Okay, so TFSA, tax-free savings account. The name makes it sound like it's just a regular savings account. And honestly, that's where a lot of people get confused. But it's way more than that. You can hold cash in it, sure, but also stocks, ETFs, GICs, bonds, mutual funds, all of that, inside one account. And whatever grows in there, you keep all of it. The government doesn't touch it. No tax on the growth, no tax when you pull it out, nothing. That's been the deal since 2009 when the government first introduced it. The easiest way to think about it is like a jar. Whatever you put inside that jar is protected. It can grow, it can compound over time, it can turn into something way bigger than what you started with. And when you eventually take it out, you get every dollar of what it grew into. Nobody reaches in and takes a piece. That is the cool thing about TFSA. Now, there is a limit to how much you can put in each year. The government sets that limit annually, and it's moved around a bit over the years. Started at $5,000 back in 2009, jumped to $10,000 in 2015, then came back down. Right now, in 2026, it's sitting at $7,000. So every January 1st, every eligible Canadian gets $7,000 of fresh room added, just like that. Now here's the part that actually shocked Otis. That room doesn't go away if you don't use it. It just carries over, stacks up year after year. So if you were 18 or older back in 2009 when the TFSA launched and a resident of Canada, and you've never put a single dollar into it, right now in 2026 you're sitting on $109,000 worth of contribution room. That's yours, tax-free, just sitting there. Otis just kind of sat with that for a minute. He'd completely ignored every time his bank brought up the TFSA, figured it was just some savings account they were trying to sell him. He had no clue he'd been building up that much room the whole time. One thing worth flagging here, not every account at your bank is a TFSA, even if it looks like one. A high-interest savings account, not a TFSA. A regular checking account, not a TFSA. Even if the rate is decent, it has to actually be registered as a tax-free savings account. That was exactly Otis's problem. His account had an all-right interest rate, and he just kind of assumed that made it a TFSA. It didn't. Here's where the difference really shows up. Say Otis puts $10,000 into a regular account, and over time it grows to $30,000. That's a $20,000 gain, and depending on his tax bracket, somewhere between $4,000 and $6,000 of that is going to tax. He doesn't decide when, it just happens. Now take that same $10,000, put it in a TFSA instead. It grows to the same $30,000. He keeps all 30, every single dollar, without being taxed for the growth. Same money, completely different story. And when Otis needs to take money out, he can just do it whenever he wants. No penalty, no paperwork, no tax. It doesn't show up as income, doesn't mess with any benefits he's getting. Compare that to an RRSP where the moment you pull money out, it gets added to your income for the year and you pay tax on it. TFSA is the opposite of that. You take it out and it's just yours. There is one thing about withdrawals though that catches people off guard. When you take money out, that room doesn't disappear forever. It comes back. But not straight away. It comes back on January 1st of the following year. And this is where it gets easy to make a really expensive mistake without realizing it. Assume Otis has maxed out his TFSA. Then in the summer, he pulls out $5,000 to cover something unexpected. He thinks, okay, I've got $5,000 in room again, so he puts it back in before the year is over. He just over-contributed, and there's a penalty for that. 1% per month on however much he went over, every single month until it gets sorted out. Not because he did something complicated, but just because the timing was off. And let's put a real number on what that actually costs. $5,000 over-contribution. 1% a month. That's $50 a month coming out of his pocket. If he doesn't catch it for 6 months, that's $300. Gone. For a timing mistake he didn't even know he was making. The good news is, once you know about it, It's actually pretty easy to avoid. Option 1. If you withdrew money this year, just wait until January 1st before you put anything back in. Option 2. Before you contribute anything, log into CRA My Account online. You can sign in through your bank or CRA ID. It'll show you exactly how much room you have right now. Just check first, don't guess. So now that you get how the room works, the obvious next question is, what should actually go in there? Cash is fine. You'll earn tax-free interest on it, but the real advantage of a TFSA comes from investing inside it. Stocks, ETFs, index funds. The bigger the growth you're expecting, the more you want it inside the TFSA than outside it, because outside it, you're being taxed on the gains. Inside it, you're not. Let's sort out the difference between a TFSA and an RRSP, because we kept hearing both. Quick version, RRSP, when you put money in, you get a tax deduction right now. That's nice. But when you take it out down the road in retirement, that money gets added to your income and you pay tax on it then. TFSA, no deduction when you put money in, but when it grows, no tax. When you take it out, no tax. And you can take it out whenever you want with no penalty. Which one makes more sense for you depends on where your income is now versus where you think it'll be in retirement. But here's the thing a lot of people miss. You don't have to choose. A lot of Canadians use both. RRSP for the retirement piece, TFSA for everything else. That's honestly a whole separate video. But at least now Otis knows they're not the same thing. Otis is 24. If he puts $7,000 a year into a TFSA from now until he's 65, at 7% growth a year, you know what that turns into? Over $1.5 million. And he doesn't need to pay a single cent of tax on any of it. Now take that same money, same contributions, same growth rate, but in a regular account instead.
After decades of tax every year on those gains, he ends up with somewhere around $900,000 to just over $1 million. Still a lot of money. But that's potentially $600,000 less. Same money going in, one difference. So Otis called his bank, told them he wanted to open a TFSA, moved his money over, set up automatic contributions so he didn't have to think about it. He couldn't undo the 2 years he'd already lost, but he wasn't about to lose another day. This is everything you need to know in nutshell. 2026 contribution limit, $7,000. Total room available if you've never contributed since 2009, $109,000. Money you withdraw comes back as room on January 1st of the following year, not before. Over contribution penalty, 1% per month on whatever you went over. And before you contribute anything, just check your room on CRA My Account first. Seriously, it just takes only 2 minutes. Now our friend Otis didn't suddenly start making more money. He just stopped letting it slip away. Just a quick note, everything in this video is for educational purposes only. For your own situation, always check canada.ca or have a chat with your financial advisor. Next week, Otis is getting into the difference between a TFSA and an RRSP properly, because he just realized he might have been putting his retirement savings in the wrong place. If this was helpful, please share it with one person in your life who still hasn't opened their TFSA yet. Bye!